Hey, how are you? No, I've only been here about 24 hours. Do you want to hear my story? Okay. Well, I've been unemployed for about a year and a half now. I then had a major medical situation where, for a 1 month period, maybe out of like 5 months in my entire life, when I didn't have health insurance, I shattered my shoulder in 5 places, spent my 65 grand in savings, and then right afterwards, my mother had a stroke, so I had to go down to Florida, be with her, and take care of her for a few months. And then I came back up here, sent out thousands of resumes, unemployment, the whole 9 yards. What I do is I'm a creative director for kids television, but a lot of that has been migrating out of the U.S. and to other places. Like if you turn on PBS here, or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, any of these places, you will see at the end of the majority of these shows, there's a little stamp on the end that says CMF, the Canadian Media Fund. So much of kids animation has been leaving the US and going to places like Canada, like the Philippines, like Japan, to other places like that because they do not subsidize it here in the US. When my company closed, 150 employees were there, gone. Half the animators moved to Canada. Well, because they could get work there. And it's really kind of sad because, as a country, the most valuable commodity that we have is our children's minds. And if we're not able to custom cater to that in our own country, then I don't know. It doesn't speak very highly of us as a country. For me, the tipping point was financial. My situation was so bad and so bleak and so dark that it was like, I've lost my apartment on the Upper East Side. I lost my health insurance, and it was like, I'm going to have to do something dramatic in the next, 24, 48 hours. So I'm just surviving. Yeah, well, underneath me, I got my computer with all my stuff on it, all my kid shows on it, my best stuff. Yeah, that and my iPhone. Yeah, well, if it wasn't for Steve Jobs, God rest his soul, I don't know what kind of activity I'd have in the world right now. Yeah, exactly. We have our priorities, like our Apple tech. You can lose everything, but once you lose your Apple tech, then you're at a whole new level that you have to recover from. I mean, you could be homeless and hungry, but if you are homeless and hungry without your Apple tech, then you are really screwed. Ex- Well, I've actually spoken with other people in the industry who are here and are like, yeah, I've been kicked out, I'm about to be homeless, and I wanted to come down here and support other producers, and stuff like that. So it is insane. It is unreal. And I mean, I'm in a very particular kind of situation, being in the kids animation field, but as the unemployment rate keeps getting larger and larger and it begins to affect pools that are far more diverse than the kids' television pool, I mean, the consequences are going to be much more dynamic. And I mean, we're saying that this is our, milder, tamer Arab Spring, So if we can get enough attention and get Congress to not be so self-serving, yeah, I mean, something has to change politically. I mean, I'd like it to. I mean, I don't know, but I'm still holding out hope. Oh, yeah. I still got a little hope in there. I'm a hopey, changey, feely kind of person. Occupy Wall Street? It's going to keep going on indefinitely. It's going to keep going indefinitely. I mean, the heart and soul is jobs, the economy. We are the 99%, you are the 1%. Of course, in addition to that, I mean, there's a bunch of fringe elements. I mean, if you look throughout history, I mean, all peace movements, major peace movements, if you look throughout history, all have a lot of different messages, but a few main core messages. And I think that's the key here. You've got, wing nuts next to geniuses here. I mean, personal situations, they tend to pack together. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of young homeless people around. What am I feeling? I'm just feeling shame, disgust, beyond depression, all those things. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable I am in the situation I'm in, where a year and a half ago I had an over six-figure salary job. And I'm a caring, compassionate, tenacious, intelligent person. I've spent my life helping other causes. And to be myself now as the one needing help, it's really difficult. And the fact that my pride, in the last 6 months has really affected my ability to take help that maybe I could have or should have asked for, earlier. It's Yeah, it's really tough, and it's hard too as a guy because, and I know it sounds stupid because it's hard on anybody, but as a guy too, it's particularly hard because you feel like I'm a guy, I'm a provider, I'm supposed to take care of things. I mean that's what I've done my whole life, take care of my family in Florida, send the money. I had my mom suffering, and so I had to take care of her and all these different things. So it's tough. But I mean, you don't want to get yourself too emotional or upset about it because then that doesn't give you it doesn't keep you the ability to keep fighting. But at the same time, the more your self-esteem is continually undermined by not having work, the more difficult it is for you to get work. And I never understood that before. I never understood that before. I mean, I always had an understanding of homeless people. I've had homeless people literally live in my house. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I lived in Venice Beach, California, I had homeless people literally live in my house and feed them, have them over for Thanksgiving dinner and feed them all. But you just never think the circle will come around to you, you know? What happens actually is that as the pieces just start to fall off the machine of your human life, as you lose your apartment like I did, your stuff goes into storage, you lose your health insurance, all these pieces start to fall away. It's really tough to reconstitute them. It's tough to, it's tough to regain the will to fight. I still have that fighting spirit, but at times I'm just like so low. It's just like, fuck it, you know? Oh yeah, no, I have applied to everything. I've done everything. It's not like I was like, oh, I'm only going to take creative director jobs. No, I have applied to over 40 Walgreens. You know, I have applied to local places. I've done everything. And I mean, I'm in a particularly weird spot, as a 40-year-old guy who's a little bit out of that young, eager, new trainee role for a ground zero job. But I mean, my resume is too big to even show it to some places. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But having been a performer and, oh yeah, I'm a SAG guy. Yeah, no, I've done a ton of commercials in my life. Yeah. No, I used to be a stand-up comedian. I've done a ton of comedy clubs all here around town. I was on Conan O'Brien. I've been on Comedy Central. I was actually one of the first few Deaf Comedy Jam winners. Yeah, Showtime's White Boys into Hood. Yeah, it's taped like 3 or 4 years ago. You can find it online. So, but not so funny. Don't feel like doing comedy now. Oh, what they're doing is it's a mic check. The police aren't allowing any projected sound. There's no microphones allowed here, so it's like a communitive effort thing in order to get more people around that central person to ripple out what that person is saying. Thanks.